Good morning, everyone. Um, Monday, here we are. Um, Good morning, Dora and Susan and Sandra. Yeah, such good weather. Really nice. I am getting a lot of work done on the porch, so that's good. There may be some sound today. Uh, Finally getting the last, I hope, of the gutter work done. Every time they come out to do it, it seems like they've forgotten something or they figure out that they need something else, so then they leave. There's just a tiny bit yet to do, but it's just excruciating because it's taking a long time, and I'm depending on some of their work to get the rest of my work done. So, here we go. Um, so, um, so yeah, so the results of the election, got that sorted out, which is good. I don't know how you guys felt about that. Um, just everything being decided. I felt, I don't know, I felt sort of like I didn't feel as relieved as I thought I would, but I didn't really feel that much of anything. I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is fine. But I know my husband, just the anxiety of like not knowing was very hard on him, and he like I think he went and took a nap on Saturday after they announced everything. So if you're feeling like that, maybe just the anxiety of not knowing, that can be very taxing. So go easy with yourself, and let yourself sort of recover from whatever state you got worked up into. Um, and now we can move on to the next thing. So it's always good to have things finished. I was reading an article where they were talking about kind of, um, I guess, techniques or strategies maybe to get through. Um, and this was actually written in, it was an English article. And I guess Britain has gone back into lockdown because of the pandemic. So they were talking about some strategies to kind of get through that. And one of the things that really stuck with me was the idea of not accepting that you can't make long-term plans, that you really have to just stick with short-term plans, and that that's okay. It can be very frustrating for people, I think, because if you are a planner, you tend to try to project, months in advance. What am I going to do, this time? Then what comes next? And planning trips or planning activities. Um, we need to just let go of that. Let go of that for now. Um, Focus on the short term. Focus on. So here's what I've been doing, which is it's kind of weird, but I mean, I've been giving myself a 10-day forecast, right? Just like the weather. So I try to plan out, if I am planning, as far out as I can look at the weather. And I started doing it because um, I've been doing a lot of stuff outside in the house and the yard. And so it is very weather dependent, right? And one thing, that we're finding um, with the virus and everything being around is that being outdoors is a great idea. There's a lot of things that we used to do that we can still do if we're willing to do them outdoors. So paying attention to the weather is not a bad plan anyway. Um, the other thing I was reading about was um, in Norway, they do everything they can outdoors. So in the Nordic countries, right? Um, I mean, you may or may not know, but they have typically a lot of problems with alcoholism and suicide. Um, and largely, weather or, seasonally related, right? The idea that it it's dark there a lot, and it's cold, and it's kind of dreary, and that can really get people down. I mean, I know how I feel when we have a long stretch like that. Um, but their weather is much like that, so they have come up with strategies, right, to deal with this. And there's a saying in Norway, there's no bad weather, just bad clothing. So they do everything they can outdoors. In fact, I can't remember the name, but there is a word for it, which is it means something like outdoor living. And you can apparently major in that or minor in that in college, like the strategies and the techniques to do this. They have outdoor schools. They have outdoor dining, obviously, outdoor everything. Um, and I think, if they can do it in Norway, we can certainly do it here because our weather is better than theirs. um, but this is the time, this is the year to go and get yourself some warm clothing if you don't have it. Get boots so you can go out and walk in the slush and the rain and whatnot. Um, get a good raincoat. All of these things that you may have been putting off. In Delaware, you can almost do without a warm coat sometimes, especially if you are the person that goes from in the house, in the car, back, into the building. Okay, we can't do that anymore. Now you need you need some clothing. So figure out what you need and figure out how to get it. I know if you're on a budget, the Goodwill is a great place for that sort of thing because typically people don't use it very often. They buy it and then they don't really use it, so it's almost brand new. And as I'm saying this, I don't even know if Goodwills are open now. They probably are. You can call, find out. Also, thrift shops. There are some very nice thrift shops now that you can go and do that. Um, I remember as a kid going to, um, it was called the Bring and Buy. And that's where we would go. We take our boots and we take our winter coats once a year when we were kids and trade them in, get some new ones. So everybody, there's a long history of people doing that for sure. It's a great idea. Um, not only less expensive, but you're, recycling, you're keeping things from getting tossed. Um, so yeah, get some good clothing for our bad weather and try not to plan too far ahead. Um, it's always better to be surprised in a good way than disappointed in a bad way when you have to cancel things. So um, just plan short term. All right. So that's and I know it can be, it's sort of frustrating, certainly not being able to make long-term plans, but think of it as an exercise in yogic thinking. Um, we really should be thinking more in the present, more in right now, rather than always living in the future. What is going to come? What are we going to do? What's going to happen? What's next month going to be like? How are we going to get through the spring? All of these things, um, we can really get ourselves sick with worry and concern and frustration about something that may or may not come at all. Better we think now, right? What is happening now? What do I need to do now? And do that. Um, let the future take care of itself. It will come just as soon as it's ready, and we will deal with that as it comes. All right, so let's do a little asana. I'm not loving the ladders of all the jobs that I've done. I've decided I like being on the ground. Don't like the ladders. My calves really hate the ladder. My feet hate the ladders. Maybe I need a better ladder. I don't know. My ladders, I have one that's very adjustable, which is nice, but where you put your feet is so uncomfortable. Um, it's the worst. Maybe I need work boots. I don't have work boots. Maybe that's the answer. So there's no bad construction, just bad construction clothes. That's probably the truth of it. All right. Sitting up tall, breathing in and out. Notice sensations in the body. Breathing into any tension that we have and just letting it go. Chin down toward the chest. Let your head hang down. Moving around, big circle. One way and then the other. Back to center. Let's walk the hands out. And then behind you, gaze up. Back up to your seat. Arms wide. Take a breath. And then on the exhale, we're bringing hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands. Gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. Lower. Lift. And lower. Once more. Lifting up. And then right hand down by the side, reach across. Switch. And back up. Lift the shoulders. Roll them back. and forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind you. Deep breath, and then twist. Back to center, switch. And back to center. Both legs out in front. Let's point and flex the feet. Make some circles. One way and the other. And then let's bring soles of the feet together. I'm sitting up tall, leaning forward here. Both legs out in front. Arms overhead, deep breath, and fold forward. Moving back up. Bend the knees, and we're going to come into child's pose here. Back up. Tabletop. Let's move a few sets of cat-cow. Loosening up through the spine. Inhales and exhales. Coming back to neutral. Flip the toes and lift up to downward dog. Step the feet up. We're here in a fold. Take a few breaths. Rising up. Standing tall. Breath in and breath out. Let's step out to the side. Breath in and fold. Rising back up, use that strength in the legs to lift you. Breath in and out. Turning to face the front. Got that right foot out, left foot behind. Interlace the fingers, shoulders back, deep breath, fold forward. Let's keep the hands behind your back, lifting up about halfway, shifting the weight onto the right side. And see what you can do about lifting up that back leg. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. See how steady you are today. And then set the foot down. Back foot steps to the front. Arms overhead. And back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Stepping again to the side. Let's bring the hands behind for this. So you could interlace fingers, you could grab wrists. You can kind of walk the hands up, see what you can get a hold of. Breathe. And then fold forward. Lifting back up. Release the hands. Facing front again. Left foot is out. Draw the shoulders back. Take a deep breath. Fold forward. Lifting up. Halfway, right? Shifting the weight into the left. And then see how everything feels for balance. On this side. Keep breathing. And then set the foot down. Back foot steps to the front. Arms up overhead. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's do a couple more. Balance. We'll do tree, standing on the left foot to start. Right foot comes in. Kickstand or higher. Knee rotates out to the side. Steady with hands together or extending. Your choice. But making sure that you feel very steady. And everything back to center. Switch sides. Standing on that right leg. Steady here. Maybe extension, but see how everything's working together today. Maybe that is not your best option. I'll have to see. Remember to ground down the flat part of the feet. Sometimes we're gripping with the toes, right? That actually, it makes us, maybe it feels like you're hanging onto the pose, but you're actually bringing some of that foot up. So we really want to rest. And the best way to do that, I think, is to just gently lift the toes slightly. And you can feel how the soles shift down. You can come out of your balance. In case you probably already have, but just in case you haven't. So let's take just a moment to feel that. So we're lifting up the toes, just lightly. Feel how the foot rests down, and then gently rest the toes down. So if you find in some of the different poses that we're doing, standing poses, you are gripping, you may need to just change the pose slightly. Maybe you're trying to go a little too far. I find a lot of times in the warrior type poses where you have, one foot out, one foot back, people, sometimes that's how they're holding onto the pose by gripping with the toes. When in truth, maybe you're too far apart. Maybe you need to step back a little bit, right? Maybe that is going to be more stable for you. Give your toes a rest. And sometimes it's unconscious, right? So you may just need to check in as you do those poses and see what your toes are doing, right? Sometimes we're not even sure. But yeah, give your toes a break. All right, let's do one more. What do we do? How about we just lift the knees? So we're standing tall, lift up the right knee. This is another one where you might be gripping with the toes. See if you can avoid that. Set the foot down, switch. And back down. Bicycle out the legs. And let's come on down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together again. Take a deep breath, fold forward. Come on back up. Both legs out in front. Take a deep breath and fold. And back up, bend the knees. And then lower down. Resting on the mat. Find a place where you feel comfortable. And then if your knees aren't still bent, we're going to bend them. Soles of the feet to the mat. Right ankle on top of left knee. You may be here pressing against the right knee or bringing that left leg in. And setting everything back down. Switch sides. And whatever we did on the one side we'll do on this one as well, if possible. And then rest both feet down on the ground. Breath in and breath out. We're going to hug that right leg in, hands underneath the leg, so behind the upper thigh. Maybe extend the leg. If you can, grab a hold of the toe or the ankle. You're going to do that. And then maybe lowering out to the side. Move a little bit. And then back to center. Extend the leg long and we'll switch. So that left leg is hugging in. And then extending. You can reach for the toe or the ankle or even, the back of the leg, right? Just supporting the leg as you extend. And then lowering out to the side. Rest of the body stays on the mat. Back to center. Extend both legs. And breathe. And then bending the knees again. We're going to get ready for bridge. We're going to do one regular bridge and one supported bridge. So have your block nearby. Pressing down with the hands and feet. We're lifting up. Lower back down. Take a breath, and then we're lifting up again. This time using the block. And breathe. And if you feel like it, you can move around, lifting up the knees or extending the legs. Just see what feels good for you today. And then set the feet down. Remove the block. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Relax and breathe. Knees back to center. Let's rock a little side to side. Arms out to a T or goalpost arms, both knees to the right. Back to center, knees to the left. Back to center, extending the legs. And then lowering down. Pardon me. Steady here. And find a place comfortable for Shavasana. Breathing, steady, deep breaths. So, this idea of focusing on the now is really a key a key part of um, yoga philosophy, and a lot of other philosophies too. Not resting in the past, not looking forward to an uncertain future. Um, Things may feel more uncertain now than ever, but they always have been. Um, it was just our illusion, right? Our perception that was different. Um, so now we see things clearly, right? We see that um, a lot of what we take for granted is not uh, going to always be there, right? Um, the things that we always thought might be available to us, activities or different things that we might want to do, you know, not always they're going to be around. But we come up with something new. And by not lingering in the past, we don't regret the loss of what has passed, right? I mean, instead of being um, sad that we can't get together at Garfield Park anymore, instead, now we get together virtually. The things that we come up with, the new things, might not be as good as what we had before, um, but they are our way of moving through. Right? Um, so instead of comparing the now to the past or looking forward to, well, what are we going to do next month or next year? Um, let's just enjoy what we're doing now. Let's make the most of the time that we have, which is really um, the goal, right? Isn't that the goal of life? To enjoy and to make the best use of the time that we have been given. Beginning to move now, fingers and toes, hands and feet. And then when you're ready, you can come up to a seat on the mat. Let's bring our hands together. Take a deep breath in and out. Thank you for sharing the yoga with me this morning. Um, And I hope that you have a really good day. Namaste. Thank you. I'm just looking here. Oh, here we go. I could not. They were trying to get me to update something on my meditation timer, and I was like, no, I just want to use the timer. Thanks. Let's just do that. No need to get crazy there. All right, so let's move into a little meditation while we're still in this kind of peaceful state of mind, right? Comfortable seat, relax, breathe, close the eyes. Find that peaceful focus and breathe. Opening your eyes, coming back. Deep breath in and out. Okay, meditation and yoga for the day. Enjoy your Monday. I have probably 2 more days, right? Today and tomorrow, and then it's going to rain. We're going to have a lot of rain, I think, Wednesday and on through the rest of the week. So I'm going to get as much as I can get done. And this weather, I mean, I've been looking at my 10-day forecast, right? And the weather is supposed to stay good. Rain, but still warm. Just crazy, crazy, crazy. We may be eating Thanksgiving out on the back porch. I don't even know at this point. All right. Well, enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow.